I get asked quite a lot on how I edit my Instagram pictures. So fellas, here is how. To be honest, I use only one app which is both free and fairly easy to use. If you are passionate enough about photography and Instagramming, which I am. And so here are some examples of my edited pictures. So let's get started. So let's head straight to Lightroom app which I was talking about. First, I'm going to choose the pic that I want to edit. As you can see, the picture here is quite dark and the first thing I want to do is lighten it up a bit. Among many actions to choose from, first of all, we will manage the lighting of the picture. So, increase the exposure to 0.48. Bring down the contrast to -59. And let's move on to the highlight and bring it down to -68. 68. And then we will move to the shadow and increase to 79. +79. As you see, the pic has turned a little smoky, so in order to decrease the fogginess, we will adjust the blacks and whites. I'll decrease the white to -86 and decrease the blacks as well to -52. Now we are done with the lighting part. Now we will move on to the next part, that will be the coloring of the picture. Before altering the color, I have to first adjust the temperature, tint, vibrance and saturation of the picture. So temperature will bring up to +5 and tint +1, though it won't make much difference. Usually I don't use vibrance and saturation, but for this picture I'm gonna increase the vibrance to +30 and saturation to +11. Remember guys, all of these settings I'm using is specific to this pic and pictures of such type, and it won't work for every kind of picture. So now we will go to the color mix. Since there is no red in my picture, so I'm gonna ignore the red. We will go to the brown or whatever color it is. I mostly use this color to adjust my skin appearance, and you will see the difference in my skin if I increase the luminance to +44, keeping the hue and saturation to 0. Moving on to yellow, we will keep the hue at -100, saturation at -7 and increase the luminance to +45. Moving on to green, we will decrease the hue at -100 and luminance increase to +44. And then aqua, keep it untouched, and let's move on to the blue. Hue at -5 too, and saturation at +38. And we won't need the luminance here, so we will keep it at 0. Moving on to purple, bring down the hue to -5 too, and we will keep the pink untouched. So now the coloring is done, and we will move on to the next part, that is the effect. So now we will increase the texture to +44. Increase the clarity to +17. And then we will move on to the edge and bring it up to +15. Now keeping everything else untouched, we will go to the grain and increase the grain to +4. And if you don't need a grainy picture, it's not necessary to use it, although I'm using this for my picture. And also, after all the edits has been done, I'm gonna go for split toning as my final touch for this edit. So split toning is in the right top corner, and there are two sections. There is a highlight and shadow. Adjusting the highlight, we will move the hue to 222 and keep the saturation at 19. Adjusting is quite difficult in the beginning, but with quite a few practices, you will be able to handle it easily. And then moving on to the shadows, we will bring up the hue to 48 and saturation to 19. Now we will adjust the balance to -6. Now the split toning is finally done, so we will go to noise reduction for the final color adjustment, and we will bring it up to 21. Noise reduction to 21. Now finally the edit is done, and now we will compare the new picture against the original one. So this is the final comparison. And if you want the same look in your other pictures, you can create a preset or you can just copy the settings to your new picture. But first we will save this photo to the camera roll. Now I will copy the settings to use it in my other pictures. And since I told you one preset won't apply for all kind of pictures because it will give a different effect and different looks, so I will select a pic of the same type and paste my settings on it. But still it is not quite what I exactly wanted, so the setting is pasted and I will have to do some alteration like this one here. First I'm cropping it to the size I want, and from the pasted settings we will do some little adjustment in lighting. For example, I'm gonna increase the shadow to positive 84. Go to the shading, go to the lighting, and then increase the shadow to positive 84 from positive 79. And then we will also adjust the whites and blacks. Bring down the whites to negative 100. Bring down the whites to negative 100. And decrease the blacks to negative 46. So the lighting is re-altered. And moving on to color, I think I'm gonna keep the color same because color goes well with this picture too. And so now we will move on to the effects, and then I will increase the clarity to positive 35. Also altering the dehaze to positive 30. Positive 30. Now the copy and paste is also done, so here is the comparison with the original one. Now guys, here we are done with the tutorial, and this is just one of the many presets that I have created. And if you really want to learn more, comment down below or go to my Instagram page and comment on the picture you would like to learn the edit too. So let me save this photo first. So the link to my Instagram will be shared down below. And thank you for sticking till the end if you did. And bye. See ya next time. And oh, of course, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done yet. Thank you. Bye.